Oprah Winfrey is North America's first black billionaire and is considered by many to be the most influential woman in the world. She went from being born into poverty in rural Mississippi to a single teenage mother to now being worth $2.7 billion. And today, we're going to learn her number one tip that she says if you follow, nobody can touch you. Rise and shine, it's espresso time!
I wake up every morning.
Espresso keep me going.
I wake up every morning.
Hey, it's Evan Carmichael, and every morning I bring you a shot of espresso to help you believe in yourself and start your day with more confidence. So good morning. I believe in you, and let's do this. Over to you, Oprah Winfrey.
So it is my intention to fulfill the dream of the Creator. It is my intention to live to the highest calling and be pressed to the mark of the highest calling that I have come to do. And when you can ask the Creator, ask that which made you you, what is your dream for me? I guarantee you, instead of you trying to define the dream, what is your dream for me? If you're able to lean into the dream that the universe and all the forces of light and love and power and grace by all the names that we call God has for you, nobody can touch you. Nobody can touch you.
People don't lean into their dreams because they're afraid. You're afraid of it not working. You're afraid of people judging you. You're afraid of you being a failure. But if you never lean into your dream, you'll always know that you are capable of more and regret the fact that you never had the courage to really take your shot. So I think we constantly go through this. I recently went through this late last year where I got invited to speak at Brendan Burchard's event, and a couple thousand people in the room. And up until that point, I hadn't done a big speaking event for a while. I'd done a lot of small events, small meetups, even small speaking engagements. But a couple thousand people I hadn't done in a while. And in my head, I was telling myself, I just want to do a Q&A. Q&A is the easiest for me. It's the most fun for me. It's the easiest for me. All I have to do is show up. And so I told them, hey, what if we just did a Q&A? And one of the hosts, either Brendan or Ethan or Dean or one of the people there at the event can interview me. We'll do Q&A and then we'll open up to the audience because that's the most fun, knowing that it's helping somebody else in the audience. And they said, we don't really want to do that format. It's like, okay, no problem. I'm in. I'll speak. And at the two events prior, I did Q&A. I brought it up to the organizer. They liked the idea, and then we went to Q&A. And I shine in Q&A, and again, I love it. I'm great at it, but it also is an easy crutch for me because I don't need to prepare for anything. I don't need to have PowerPoint. I don't need to have a deck. I don't even really need to think that much about what I'm going to say because it's always bouncing off whatever the other person wants to talk about. If I didn't show up, though, if I didn't go, if I didn't say yes, if I sabotaged it, I would have missed out on such an amazing opportunity, right? From that one event where I spoke on Brendan's stage, a couple thousand people, he then invited me back to come and speak again in Puerto Rico to his big mastermind group. Not big people, more big people pay 30 to 50K to be there. And then he invited me to mastermind with him and Dean and his homies to help him in his business and me in mine as well. If I sabotaged myself and said, no, I only want to do Q&A, I wouldn't have gotten that opportunity. And so even though I was super afraid, I said yes. Even though I tried to push it towards something else that was more comfortable for me, I said yes. And so it's leaning into the dream. The reality for me was I was just afraid. I still am afraid. I had a panic attack before going on stage that day because my biggest fear is letting people down. I don't want to disappoint people. It's harder to disappoint people in a Q&A than it is to get up on stage with no slides and just talk for an hour, right? And so it's easy to convince myself to say, well, I'm better at Q&A and I want to make it about the audience. But really a part of it is I'm afraid that if I get up and just speak, that I'm going to forget what I'm going to say. I'm not going to bring value to people and I'm going to disappoint everybody. I'm going to make a not even make a fool of myself as much as the people who brought me there are going to be disappointed in what I did and I let people down. That idea destroys me. And so it's keeping that top of mind, knowing that this is how I process and what I'm afraid of. I have to keep that top of mind and keep checking in with myself to say, hey, am I saying no to this because I don't want to do it, because it doesn't serve my purpose, because it doesn't help me serve people, right? I'm built to serve. Or is it because I'm just deeply afraid that I'm going to disappoint people and I'm holding myself back? And having that conversation and knowing that this is where you hold yourself back is extremely valuable, because it's going to show up again and again and again for the rest of your life. You're just going to be able to tackle bigger and bigger and bigger monsters. So I'm going to give you a 3-step process that I use to overcome my fears and lean more into my dreams. But before that, if you want to have more confidence, I've created a daily email sequence where for 254 days, I'm going to send you a video to help you get more confidence. Check the link in the description below. It's free.
They think that success is supposed to happen like that. I have paid attention to my life because I understand that my life, just like your life, is always speaking to you. Your real work is to figure out where your power base is.
Okay, so how do you overcome your fears and lean into your dreams? 3 steps. Let's go. Step 1, what is your biggest fear? Identify what your biggest fear is, especially the one that you think is holding you back, right? You might be afraid of spiders, you might be afraid of heights. Awesome. That's probably not holding you back in your business unless your goal is you want to be, an astronaut or something, or dealing with reptiles. Awesome. A spider's not a reptile. Doesn't matter. What's your biggest fear? For me, I'm afraid of disappointing people, right? I don't want to let people down. And so I know that. I know that's how I act. And it's something that I can keep top of mind when I'm making big decisions. For you, what is your biggest fear? Identify it, write it down, have it top of mind. So when you're making your next big decision, you know the thing that is likely gonna hold you back and maybe even sabotage your progress. Number 2, try to think about where is it holding you back. Look at your life, look at the opportunities in front of you, look at the business you wanna build, look at the aspirations you have and what you say you want for yourself, right? Look at that, look at your big goals, and then look at your actions and think, where is this showing up for you in your life? So for myself, I just give you the example of me going to that event and trying to make it a Q&A, but still saying yes, even though they didn't want that. Even today, making these videos, I'm testing a new format out with the videos, right? I had a different intro. We have a slightly different sequence. I'm playing with it because every time I get in front of the camera, I want it to be the best that I've ever done. I will very rarely make it the best that I've ever done, but it's always my intention going in. And so before I start filming, I always have this fear of disappointing you guys, that this video is not going to be as good as what I've already created. And I put that pressure, which leads to some procrastination before filming every day, right? It's not giant, but 5 to 10 minutes of doing something else, because really I'm just afraid of pressing record and making this video for you, right? So identify in your own life, where is that fear that you have holding you back from making progress? And then step number 3 is, what courageous move can you make today? This is one of the most important things you can train in yourself. The idea that when you have found something that you know is a limitation, when you've found your biggest fear, and then you've identified a specific area in your life where it's holding you back. It's one thing to know that you're afraid of this thing. It's another, in step 2, to figure out, this is exactly where in my life or my business I am playing small because of that fear. This is now one of the most important things you can ever do, ever, to build momentum, to build confidence, to build self-love, is when you identify something that you're afraid of, that you know you need to do to progress a goal in your life, you have to do it. You have to summon the courage to go off and do it. Whether you end up winning or not, whether I end up bombing on stage or crushing it, whether I end up sucking on camera or crushing it, doesn't matter. It's the effort, the willingness to try. You are not allowed to find something that you're bumping up against and recognize, this is the thing I'm afraid of, and then back down. Don't teach yourself that. Don't teach yourself to go to the ledge and recognize you want to jump, you want to go and be there, and then you back away, because that's a pattern that then starts to reinforce itself. You start teaching yourself that I get scared, I back away, I get scared, I back away, I get scared, I back away, and you stay in this constant loop of knowing you're capable of more, but then never taking the action because you're constantly scared and back away. You flip it. You cut that sequence ASAP, immediately, right now, today. What's the one courageous thing that you can do to start building some momentum in your business on the thing that you are terrified of? Go. Now I've got a really special bonus clip that I think you're going to enjoy. But before that, question of the day, I want to know, what is your one courageous thing? Let me know. Put it down in the comments below. And if you made it this far in the video and you promise, you commit to take action after watching it, we don't just watch a video, we do something afterwards, give me a hashtag believe down in the comments as well.
See, grace is available to everybody. It's like sunlight. Sunlight is available to everybody, but only those who open their eyes will see. That's the way it is. But is it not there? Is it there only for me, not for you? There's no such thing. It's available for everybody. It's just that, are you receptive? When we talk about receptivity, see the entire process of yoga, the word yoga itself means this. The word yoga means union. Union means what? Right now in most people's experience, it is me versus universe. This is how people are experiencing life. Otherwise, why continuous anxiety, fear? They think they're fighting for their life all the time. Why? They're fighting the whole universe. Individual and the universal, being in competition with the universe is a stupid thing to do.
If you want another awesome video in our Black Excellence series, check out the video right there next to me. I think you'll enjoy it. Continue to believe, and I'll see you there.